The flame that will one day consume us all. Once, in a quiet village nestled between tall mountains and deep forests, there lived an old blacksmith named Elias. His hands were rough from years of shaping metal, and his eyes held the wisdom of countless fires he had kindled. The villagers respected him, not only for his skill, but also for the stories he told. Stories of flames that could warm the heart or burn the world. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars blinked awake, a young boy named Kael sat by Elias' forge. The embers still glowed, casting flickering shadows on the walls. "Tell me a story, Master Elias," Kael pleaded. "Not just any story. One about fire." Elias smiled, stoking the coals with a worn iron rod. "Very well," he said. "But this is not a tale of warmth or light. This is the story of the flame that will one day consume us all. Long ago, before our village existed, before even the oldest trees took root, there was a kingdom of endless summer. The sun never set, the crops never failed, and the people lived without fear of cold or hunger. Their ruler was a proud king named Solrin, who believed the sun itself blessed his land. But the king was greedy. He wanted more gold, more power, more light. So he summoned the greatest sorcerers of his time and ordered them to capture a piece of the sun's fire. "If we hold its power," he said, "we shall never know darkness again." The sorcerers warned him. "Fire is a servant, not a master," they said. "To chain, it is to invite ruin." But the king would not listen. For years, the sorcerers labored in secret towers, forging a vessel strong enough to hold the sun's flame. At last, they succeeded. A golden orb, small enough to fit in a man's palm, yet pulsing with terrible heat. They brought it before the king, their faces grim. "This is what you asked for," the head sorcerer said. "But know this, the flame grows, it cannot be quenched. One day, it will hunger. And when it does, nothing will sate it." The king laughed. "Then we shall feed it," he declared, and he placed the orb atop a great pillar in the center of his palace. At first, all was well. The kingdom grew richer, its armies stronger. No enemy dared approach, for the flame's light blinded them. But slowly, the people noticed something strange. The nights, once short, grew longer. The crops, once plentiful, began to wither. The flame was feeding, not on wood or oil, but on the very warmth of the land. Still, the king refused to see. "It's a test," he said. "We must give it more." So, he ordered his soldiers to bring treasures, silks, jewels, even books filled with ancient knowledge, to cast into the flame. Each offering made the orb burn brighter, but the land grew colder. Rivers froze. Animals fled. The people whispered in fear, but none dared speak against their king. Then came the day when the flame demanded more than gold. A servant, tending the pillar, slipped and grazed the orb with his hand. The fire clung to him, spreading up his arm before he could scream. The king watched in horror as the man was consumed in seconds, leaving only ash. Yet instead of despair, the flame seemed satisfied. The king's heart turned to ice. At last, he understood the sorcerer's warning. But it was too late. That night, the flame grew restless. It pulsed, its light stretching across the halls like grasping fingers. The king ordered the palace evacuated, but as the last servants fled, the orb shattered. What emerged was not fire, as men knew it. It was alive, a creature of hunger and endless thirst. It burned through the palace, then the city, then the kingdom. Wherever it passed, only silence remained. Some say it still walks the world, a shape of flickering embers, always searching, always feeding. It sleeps beneath mountains or in the hearts of volcanoes, waiting for the day when men forget its lesson. And when that day comes, it will wake. Elias fell silent. The forge's embers had dimmed, leaving only a faint glow. Kael shivered. Is it just a story? The blacksmith's gaze was distant. Every flame, no matter how small, has the same nature. It gives warmth, yes, but leave it unchecked, and it will devour all it touches. He placed a hand on Kael's shoulder. Remember that, boy. The greatest dangers are the ones we think we control. Outside the wind howled, carrying with it the scent of distant smoke. And far away, in the deepest dark, something stirred.